New Jersey. No one smoke. Just popping in to say hello to everyone loving light. Yes, one loving light. Covet everyone with love. Jesus is watching. Styles, don't do that. Don't do that, OG. I like that I get them little packages unexpected at the door too, yo. That shit was hard. Yeah, no Victoria's Secrets hats today. Delay shit. How's everybody doing, man? I had a free Saturday. Figured I'd pop in and talk some shit. I don't want nothing much, Marlena. How you doing? Marv 1, don't be a hater, don't do that. Joe is giving sugar daddy. Joe, I've been giving sugar daddy vibes, yo. Oh, man. What's up? What we talking about? Did you hit the strip club last night? Yes, hit the strip club last night. Shit was alright. Shit was a vibe a little bit. Last night, I might sit here on Insta Live all day long today. Are you a pastor? No. Need an R&B jam session soon. I bet. Watch Billions. Look at this guy. Thinks he's putting somebody on the Billions 5 seasons later. It's awesome. You can always count on my love. What strip club? No, I'm not doing that. I ain't gonna tell you what strip club. Just one of the ones that... It was cool. Wasn't a lot of people out last night, though. Oh, can y'all hear that music? Did you hit more than one strip club? That's how you start, you know what I mean? We ain't gotta get in all of that part now, child. My mom is good. She's downstairs blasting Patti LaBelle.
Look, Joe is doing what I told you he's going to do. Right? Let's get into that real fast. Joe is doing exactly what I told you he's going to do. Joe Budden is once again making it all about Joe. That's it. It's always all about Joe. This guy is an egomaniac. So much that the whole incident about the contract, he's making it all about him. Joe Budden, when is the last time he did one of these live streams? That's 2 days in a row. You've seen Joe Budden doing live streams, talking to people. And about this. Because he knows, oh, this has got some buzz. Let me do this. That's the only reason he's wagging his tongue. Yeah, I saw what Crook said. But what was even more disturbing than that was not what Crook said. It was more disturbing on how Joe thought he was right. Where and on what planet would you be right? They let off Royce because they already knew where they were going with Royce. Their problem is they're rappers. Joe is somebody who's always been unhappy. He sat up here and went on I'm a King vibe. And I'm Untouchable Joe. Right? He went off those vibes. Hey, what's up, Sassy? Well, here's the thing. When you go off those vibes and you promote everything as it's about me, 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 these are the problems you're going to run into.
Calvin has this really cool Batman Lego set.
That is a cool Batman Lego set. What did the idiot say now? No, it's what he isn't saying. It's just the fact that he's saying, period. He keeps doubling down. He's keep making everything about Joe. Once you have that mentality and you keep making it all about you, these are going to be the results. Joe, when the last time you see Joe Budden do 2 Instagram lives, spend his entire Saturday basically talking to people on IG Live? When's he done that? Oh, he got some heat on him now. He can do that. Joe and Royce don't care about doing it. That's fine. If you don't care about doing it or being involved in the project, that's fine. Do your thing. But why would you hinder your brothers from eating? To me, that don't make any sense. Other people might think it's cool or what have you. I don't think that's cool. If you don't want to be a part of it, say, I'm out. Why would you be upset when they get mad about the album? He said, all I said was I was disappointed. That's it. Why are you talking about it for 2 days? The only reason you're talking about it is because it makes you look bad. It makes Royce look bad. Royce didn't want to do it. Period. He didn't. Because he doesn't need the money. Now, if they were broke, they'd have took it. They would have jumped at it. They would have jumped at this deal and grabbed that deal. Oh, thank you. Oh, you got us a bag? Oh, good looking. But now, since they don't need the money, they don't have any passion to do it. They're not out there grinding. Come on. Joe ain't rapped in over 10 years. By his own words, he is retired. And when he wasn't retired, his career wasn't a success. So why would he come back? He's done that show. Yeah, he's Eminem's personal assistant. Now, when people can't sit in front of each other and make a decision and work together, these are the problems you're faced with. For some reason, Joe Budden cannot face himself. He cannot sit down and face the facts. Now he's sorry what he said about Joel, and I love him, and that's my brother. Of course it is, after the fact. All you want is the attention so that when you do your new podcast show or whatever the Joe Budden show is, you could go over everything you said these last 2 days. The reason he can't save it for the podcast and go over that is because he wants to keep the buzz there. People's attention would have dissipated. They would have went to some other story in hip hop and left this alone. But no, that's not the case. What did everyone decide to do? Self-preservation. They thought about self. Right? Joel was thinking group. Crook was thinking the group. They were thinking, I don't need to do it. But instead of saying that, Joe is self-serving. Joe cares about self. The Rory and Maul situation told you just that. I care about self. Whenever you mad that the people that's your boys that has built something with you want to see the books and want to see the numbers, you're upset about that. And making them out to be the bad guys when they just asking to see the books. as if Joe is the only reason people are watching the show. Now Rory and Mal has a successful podcast. But it's all about Joe. He was so arrogantly, he arrogantly took the Joe Budden podcast when the name of the show was I'll Name This Podcast Later, which was the better name. He changed it to the Joe Budden Podcast. So when you run to the Joe Budden Podcast, this has been an issue. Once they changed the name over to the Joe Budden Podcast, and this was allowed, they had to fight just to get featuring Rory and Mal included into the show. Then he took episodes and put them on his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel, before he was putting clips and highlights of the show on his own channel, using footage of Rory and Mal. And Joe said, well, why don't you get a YouTube page? I'm allowing you to use the footage. So go ahead and use the footage and boost your own pages and get your own money from YouTube. Now, they didn't do that because they were like, no, which I think they should have, but Joe, how are you allowing them to use the footage when they are in there? You have to pay them for their likeness if they're on the show. They have something called likeness rights, and you have to pay them. So they had to get a lawyer to come in and negotiate their likeness rights deals, because you just can't take their likeness on the show and put it up there without accommodating them for their likeness rights. You were basically making money hand over fist and sharing nothing with them. Then the deal with Cash App. Joe Budden had a deal with Cash App, not Rory and Mal. So when you have these situations in place, and you put them in this manner, this is what's going on. Joe has always been about Joe. It's never been about anything else but that. Joe is always going to be about Joe. And anybody who can't see that is the problem. That's the way he's always made it to be. That's the way it always been. Now, if he wants to put a spin on it, he can. But the reality of the situation is, this is who Joe Budden is. He's always been this guy. He doesn't know how to be anything else. I never had a problem with anything that they're talking about or whatever somebody else just said. That was crazy. I'm here speaking on it as a whole. Joel versus Joe Budden in a rap battle? Come on. That's like putting Willie D and Scarface against each other. It will be a slaughter. Joel would wipe the floor with Joe Budden. To me, Joe has a very irritating voice, even for rap. He had some songs on the mixtape that worked, but it's like songs you make for your homeboys. He didn't do anything with them. And then you don't want to go on the grind circuit. So if you don't want to get on the grind circuit, this is what happens. Well, when you get to the source of the main problems, you understand that Joe Budden is what he is. He's always been this person. You know, he knows that people are going to make videos of this. He knows people are going to right. I mean, they know people are going to see this and say different things, and they know this is going to trend, in other words. It's been a promo run for the Joe Budden podcast. The Joe Budden podcast got to pay to stay where they're at, to try to show that they're a podcast. Nobody's watching the Joe Budden podcast like that anymore. It's not. So Joe has to spend more money to promote it, to keep it at the top where it is. They have to spend money to keep it in the search so people can listen to it and get it pushed. Now, the money hasn't been the same because now you're giving the appearance to everybody that you're rich, but the actual income that's coming in isn't touching what you used to have. But you're happy because you're saving money from not paying Rory and Mal, which is what you were crying about in the first place. As a rapper, he's someone you don't even want to engage in. Because it's like he was only making diss records. And without diss records, now it doesn't even make sense. He makes enough money to where he doesn't have to go through the rap world no more. He makes more money now than he did rapping. But my thing is, why hold everybody up? Royce don't care. Royce wanted to say no from the very beginning. But Royce is like Yoda speaking in code or something. He used Joe Budden to turn down the deal that he didn't want to do in the first place. That's how Royce is. He's sneaky. He's always been like that. He's always had female tendencies. The whole beef with him and Eminem and all this stuff. And how he made his diss records. He hated D12 because they were close to Eminem and he was on the outs. He was on the outside. And he wanted to get back tight. Now that Eminem did blew up, that's his boy again. I need to get it back in that light. So, all of a sudden, he's already made a diss record against the people you chilling with every day, you cool with every day. You already got a diss record made on it. So how are you chilling with somebody and cool with somebody but gonna make a diss record about them when they haven't done that yet? Keep it in the vault, and then when something go wrong that you basically create, you release the diss record. Now in Royce's defense, he hasn't been the same since he came out of prison. He's been the old wise man now. He gave up drinking. He gave up all these vices. The Book of Ryan is an master art piece that he put out, and I don't think that he could ever make another one of those. But the liquor seemed to have had an impact on his career early on, because the Book of Ryan is amazing. Now, besides that, Royce the 5'9" wanted to turn the deal down instead of just saying, I'm really not feeling it, and I really don't want to rap because I'm good here. Eminem is taking care of me, so I don't need to rap. But y'all go ahead and do that. Instead of being honest and saying something like that, he goes ahead and takes a coward way out. And the coward way out was, I'm going to sit here, not say nothing, just say, if Joe do it, I'm down. Now, if you can get Joe to say he doing it, then I'm in. If Joe's in, I'm in. I'm not interested in doing a 3-man group. So, bet. If Joe's in, they're in it. He knows Joe's going to say no. Him and Joe talk way more than Joel and Crooked than they talk to them. They haven't talked to them in months. So finally, Joel contacts them. They get contact back, and Crook wasn't talking to Royce no more after they turned it down and sent them through this whole big loop when Joe wouldn't even get there and contact him. Joe, if you make up your mind, you don't even want to talk to Crook because Crook's going to want to take the deal and you don't want to talk to him, and you're talking via third party, you've already screwed up. That's telling me you don't want to do the deal anyway. Joe is going out here complaining about the deal originally. And all that was said about said deal all that was said about the deal and what Crook told Royce to tell Joe is tell Joe to let me know, what does he want the contract to say? And we'll put it in the contract. No more words from Joe about the deal. Joe has yet to answer and address that situation. Period. So these are the issues that we're faced with right now. Get us on StreamYard. If I was on StreamYard right now, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, after the Boston and Brooklyn game, commentary was needed. Because I swear, nobody was happy with the way Doris Burke called the game. Social media was outraged. Doris is normally not that bad, but I think she's getting confused with sideline reporting and actually broadcasting the game. Now, sideline reporters normally do what she does. You know, she's a former sideline reporter. And when you come from the sidelines to where she is, yes, I do, Mr. Burge. Yes, I do. It's not even about who's dope and who ain't dope. This is about the business. And right now, I just think crab friends, and it just shows what they really think of Joel and Crooked. They think they're bigger than them, like they're better. Like, I'm just too big, I'm better, or it's all about me. And if you got that mentality, when you torpedoed the group the first time around, you didn't care about how the rest of the group felt. You cared about Joe. And you didn't care about what happened in their careers and everything else. You just spazzed out and tore down Slaughterhouse. You did it. But so does Royce. Both of them have this. They're really better artists than people know. Nobody talked about Royce ever. They only talked about him once he's associated with Eminem. Before that, besides that, none of them, not one of them, had said a damn thing. Because if the fans really cared about Royce, why you don't go out and buy his project? You only talk about how great Royce is when he do something with Eminem. When it starts to make sense, and we start to understand what everyone else wants us and expect us to do, then people can start moving and acting differently. It don't matter. Royce is like this. I'm on Eminem's wheel. I'm going to get whatever Eminem gives me. Eminem makes the bulk of his money now, not off his music, off everybody else's music. He didn't produce records for Biggie, Tupac, all those productions deals that he did, and all those credits, that kickback money keeps coming back. The only time Eminem came back, when he took that hiatus and he came back and grabbed the mic and started rapping again, is because they were getting ready to shut down Shady Records. Because they were losing money every year. Shady Records was losing money every single year. And then that's when Eminem's came back. Eminem had to come back. It was like, you got to start rapping again. Until your money and all this other stuff start kicking back in, you got to get back on the horse. When he was dealing with depression and all of this, everybody used this depression angle, boy. I swear. I've never seen a generation that want and love and want to be not well, just so people could look at them. I remember one of the dumbest things I heard 50 Cent say is like, man, if Eminem ever needed $20 million or something like that, he the only one that can come to me and ask me for the money, and I'd be like, without questions asked, you got it. And I'm like, boy, you are so stupid. That was the only thing, and I understood why he said that, but he really didn't get it at the time. I'm like, do you think Eminem finna come save you? He's not. I mean, here's the thing. I don't trust Queen's Flip. I see him as the feds. I don't do anything around Flip. That dude is the feds, if I've ever seen it. No, I wouldn't take it. That's not enough money. That's not even close to enough money. If they started negotiating and they started right there, we have nothing to talk about. That's the way I see it. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get some work done for y'all. So let me go ahead and start getting this work done. I'm out.